Good morning, Boker Tov. Welcome back to 10 Minutes of Meaning with gratitude to our anonymous sponsor, again, L'zecher Nishmas Alter Shlomo ben Pinchas. We're finishing up the 21st parak of Mesillas Yesharim of the Ramchal's magnum opus, giving us and charting us a course towards a better version of ourselves. Lo שהשתדלות sumo. We last left off, the Ramchal was talking to us about initiative, about effort, about hishtadlus. You're going to find a way on camera one way or another, huh? About initiative, about effort that we make, and the initiative that we take. We have to have emunah, we have faith. Ultimately, we surrender and submit that Hashem is in charge. Hashem is in control. All the results in our life come about at the will of Hashem. Initiative is not because the results correspond or correlate with our initiative, but we have to take initiative. It is an expression of emunah. We dive into Hashem with our words, and we dive into Hashem with our actions. And therefore, when we take initiative, we show Hashem we're willing to do our part. We meet Him halfway. And then He will respond with the results. The results don't necessarily correlate specifically with our hishtadlus. וכיון שהשתדל, הרי יצא ידי חובתו. And once we take our initiative, we can't sit back. We can't be passive. We don't wait for miracles. Think about this holiday that we're in the midst of celebrating. How the great Maccabees, they were Rabbim biyad matim. They were the ma'at. They were few in number. They were giborim biyad chaloshim. They were weak compared to the mighty and the great. The Yavanim, the Misyavnim, the Hellenists were far superior militarily in their might, in their number, in every measure, in every which way. So they could have sat back and said, what are the odds? What are the chances? Why bother? It'll never work out. We'll never succeed. Why bother? Why bother? But they didn't. They knew their job in this world, lo alach amlacha ligmor. We can't necessarily finish whatever undertaking we take. However, we don't have reshus. We're not allowed to relinquish. We can't abandon the effort. We can't abandon the mission. We can't abandon trying. Our job in this world is hishtadlus. Whether we're trying to overcome an illness or disease, whether we're trying to earn and expand our parnasa, whether we're trying to save a relationship and reinstate shalom bayis, whether we're trying to reconcile a friendship, whatever area or arena of life, our job, our mission is hishtadlus. Our job is take initiative. Take initiative. The rest is up to Hashem. If the initiative works out, don't be so prideful. It's still up to Hashem. If the initiative failed, don't beat yourself up. It's because Hashem didn't will it, didn't want it. It wasn't meant to be. Our job is hishtadlos. וכבר מקום לברכת שמים שתשרה עליו ואינו צריך לבלות ימיו בחריצות והשתדלות. Once a person makes the effort, we discharge our responsibility and our obligation, now it becomes possible for Hashem's blessings to rest on such a person. And you don't have to spend your days in charitzos v'hishtadlos. There's such a thing as excessive effort. Now, if Hashem wants you to be a millionaire, He can make you a millionaire working 8, 10, 12 hours a day. You don't have to work 16 or 18 hours a day. You think that if you work 18 or 20 hours a day, you neglect davening, you neglect your family, you neglect your health and wellness, you neglect your learning, you neglect you think that you're more likely to break through and be rich? If Hashem wants you to be rich, you could be rich working a reasonable amount of time. And if He doesn't want it, you could work all the hours in the world and you'll never get what you're looking for. On the other hand, you can't sit at home, sit back on the couch and say, you know what? So why work at all? It's all up to Hashem. I'm going to wait for a knock on the door. I'm going to wait for a brown paper bag of cash to be dropped off. I'm going to wait for the mun to fall from Shamim. Why work at all? The answer is Hashem says your job, your mission is hishtadlus. Make a reasonable effort. Excessive effort is a failure or breakdown in emunah. Too little effort is also a fake, inauthentic, counterfeit emunah. You have to show the right amount of hishtadlus. We have to take and make the right amount of effort. Just right, like the 3 bears. Just right. The right amount. Not too hot, not too cold. Not too much, not too little. The right amount of effort. So David HaMelech said in Tehillim, Ki lo ממוצא וממערב ולא מבחרים, כי אלוקים שופט. זה ישפיע וזה ירים. Neither from the east, the west, the wilderness, or the uplifting. From Hashem, He will lower this one and He will elevate the other one. Hashem determines. We put in our effort. We make our initiative. We do the best that we can. We're yotzei our chov. And then the results don't correlate with our initiative. They correlate with Hashem. Shlomo HaMelech Alav Shalom Amar Atiga Lahashir Mibinascha Chadash. Shlomo HaMelech Mishlei says, don't toil for wealth and refrain from your own understanding. Excessive pursuit of the material, excessive effort in any arena is a failure to believe in Hashem. So what's reasonable? How many hours should you work? How much effort to heal? How much effort to heal a relationship? How many hours of exercise? What's the reasonable amount? The answer is whatever is reasonable. What's a reasonable amount? Depends on the time and the place and the circumstance, the person, their background, each one separate. Haderach Hamiti, let's just finish up the 21st parak. I wish everyone a Freilich and Chanukah. El Haderach Hamiti, Darkam Shel Chasidim Arishonim, Osim Toras and Iker, Umalachta and Tfela. You want to be a chassid, you want to be pious and righteous, then you have to have scope and context and priorities. You have to realize that our work is because we cannot earn without working. Initiative is sort of a concession. Initiative is the bria. The way Hashem designed and created the world, it couldn't rain until man was there to daven and ask for it. And we can't cash in the lottery ticket without a ticket. Even if you won, you have the winning numbers. Unless you turn in the ticket, you can't collect the money. You have to take initiative in order for Hashem's bounty and bracha to rain upon us. However, we have to have perspective, which is Torah is keva and malach tefela. The Torah is the ikar. Learning Torah, living Torah, seeing the world through the prism of Torah, that's the ikar. That's the core, that's what's central. Everything else is secondary to it. Don't worry about this world. You put in your hishtadlos to live well and be safe and be secure. What's reasonable? What's reasonable security? The rise of anti-Semitism. What's reasonable? Excessive is a failure, a lack of faith in Hashem. Too little is a failure to take initiative to show Hashem we're his partners in this world. What's reasonable? The answer is, what's reasonable? The answer is figuring out what the right amount, what's reasonable. And then to let go and let God. And then to submit and surrender to him. To put in your initiative and then panic, put in your initiative and then be anxious or fear, put in your initiative and then perseverate is a failure of faith. Put in the initiative and then let go and let God. It'll be what it'll be. And if we can have the proper priorities, the proper hierarchy, we can put everything in its proper place. The Torah, living Torah, learning Torah, representing Torah, seeing the world through the prism of Torah, repairing the world in the image of Torah, all that's central. That's core. That's what we do. Umalacha, and the malacha is tefela. It's secondary. The work that we do, the effort that we make, that's secondary. What's primary is our relationship with Hashem. When I'm behind the bima, a couple of years ago, we interviewed Mariano Rivera, the great New York Yankee closer, first unanimous Hall of Fame ballot, the greatest closer of all time, one of the greatest pitchers of all time, a man of tremendous faith. He spent the entire interview talking about belief in Hashem, how he talked to Hashem on the mound and he talked to Hashem in the dugout, and how the failure also was from Hashem, that he didn't beat himself up for it. But at one point he turned to us and he said, why are we talking so much about baseball? You know, baseball is just a game. It's not life. Let me tell you about life. And since he left baseball, he became a minister and he has a children's center for children. He said, baseball, it was amazing. It was my career. It was everything. But it's just a game. It's not life. Let's talk about life. The malach has to be tefela. It has to be secondary. Even if you're a Hall of Famer, you're a GOAT, the greatest of all time, and whatever you do, whatever we do in our lives, the malach of the work we do is secondary. The Torah. And then, then our heart and our head will be open and available for genuine, authentic, true chasidus, avoda tamima, and for pure divine service to serve Hashem. That everything we're doing is not serving us. We're not worshiping at the altar of work or busyness. We're not worshiping at the altar of initiative and thinking that we're responsible for success. But if we can properly put everything in its place, then our heart will be open to be able to let go and let God, to live a life where we see and feel Hashem everywhere, to truly be a chassid, to be pious. Wishing everyone a lichtiga, freilich, and Chanukah. Living with Emunah starts in 5 minutes. Tonight we go behind the bima with Rav Yosef Tzvi Rimon, the great rabbi of Gush Etzion Alon Shvut, and a great author. Have a great day.